Hi, everybody. Welcome to our live stream today where we're going to talk about mastering sustainability. Joining me today is my colleague, Starlin Berlinga, and we are going to just provide some information about sustainability, some training, whatever else can come up on today's talk. We do want to cover some housekeeping rules. If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. If you're watching us on LinkedIn, don't forget to like us, share us out. Starlin, anything else you want to add?
If you're on YouTube, I know there's also a little bell that you can click to get notifications every single time we go live. Go ahead and smash that as well. We definitely want you guys tuning in every time we have a webinar. So glad to see everyone today. While we're waiting on everyone to join, I wanted to go into a little bit of detail about IFMA. If you're familiar with us, welcome everyone. If not, I just wanted to give a little bit of a background. We have been in the industry for over 40 years. We have 139 chapters in over 130 countries, and this is comprised of over 24,000 members worldwide. Our mission is to lead the future of the built environment to make the world a better place. And this is really going to be coming into play in our webinar today as we talk about sustainability. And how we do that is we advance our collective knowledge, value, and growth for FM professionals such as yourselves to perform at the highest level. And one piece of that, which Gail and I help out with, is through credentials and training. So definitely, please, as you see the banner across your screen, comment, tell us where you're from. We'd like to recognize some of you as we go through this webinar, just to see where everyone's coming from today.
In order to see today's webinar, you can scan this QR code. We'll send you a link, and then that way you can reference it back. It is recorded, and then you can just watch it or share it with anybody that you feel would benefit from learning a little bit more about sustainable practices. So
Awesome.
let's talk
Hi,
about,
David. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Gail.
go
We will
ahead.
jump in. I just wanted to say hi to a few people. Hi, Tom from Boston. It's great to see everyone here today. Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, hello, Miami. Wonderful to see everyone joining us today. So it sounds like we've got quite a few people. Oh, hi, Tina from Singapore. We'll go ahead and get started. Gail, sorry, take it away.
So we wanted to kind of debunk what sustainability is and what it's not. So we wanted to cover a couple of things of what it is not first. It's not a specialty. So whenever you are looking at sustainability and sustainable practices, you're thinking, oh, only specific people in the organizations take care of this, and that's actually not true. It is something that we want to ensure that we, as Starlin mentioned in our mission, is that we're leaving the place a better place for the future. So making sure that you understand what your role is and how you can start bringing in some of those sustainable practices to really and truly show that it's not a specialty. It's also not greenwashing. So we did a little bit of research on what greenwashing is, and Starlin, you want to jump in a little bit on this?
Absolutely. So thanks, Gail, for bringing that up. So sustainability is really kind of the adult equivalent of cleaning up after yourself. And we definitely want to teach you how to implement sustainable practices. Greenwashing is whenever you buy credits to offset kind of the emissions and things that you have coming out of your company. And while it's something that is definitely that can help in a pinch whenever you're trying to get kind of off the ground in sustainability, this is much more of a long-term solution that we really want companies to start looking at, because it's going, you can only buy so many credits for so long. It will only work for so long before that's not a possibility anymore. And you really do need to start implementing some sustainable practices. And it's not just the executive people who make the decision. It's not just their responsibility. It's the FMs who have their boots on the ground that really need to be implementing these initiatives and these strategies as well. So let's go into a little bit more information about how to approach sustainability as a facility manager.
So there are kind of two ways to look at this: how your company approaches it, and then how you yourself as the FM approaches it. So when you're looking through your company culture's lens, do you support it? Are there any already, sustainability parts that are attached to your balanced scorecard? Do you have any KPIs that you yourself are responsible for or your team is responsible for? Understanding where you sit at the baseline of sustainable practices is going to help you map out your future and where you can start seeing those improvements and making those improvements. When you're measuring and defining what those goals are, you now, with that baseline, can see, okay, we have been successful with X, Y, and Z. Or, ooh, maybe we need to look a little bit more into this and see how we can make this a better part of our practices. Or we want to make that goal on our balanced scorecard. When you look at yourself inwardly and you're saying, okay, what can I do for my organization? First of all, are you even strong in the foundations of FM? If you've been doing this for more than, say, 3 years, you probably have been exposed to quite a bit. So you probably do have that foundation already set. If you're unsure, reach out to us at Corporate Connections at IFMA.org. We'll have a quick conversation with you just to help make sure, or even just cheerlead you to say, yes, you do have this experience and knowledge. You're set, you're ready to jump into some kind of sustainable training. The other question, when you're looking at yourself, are you ready to lead? Really, are you really ready to make that impact? Are you ready to be the person who stands up to say, this is the training that I feel that I need? This is the training that either my team needs or we as the team needs, so that we can start making those advances towards our KPIs or balanced scorecard. So, Starlin, do you want to tell us what we at IFMA offer to help you get closer to those goals?
Absolutely, Gail. So we are going to go over a couple of options today. And please know that these are not the only options, but these are the ones we really want to focus on, because the first option is to fill a gap, really kind of get a good overview of what sustainability is, kind of some of the concepts. And then the other option is really becoming the change, developing strategy and how to drive sustainability projects start to finish within your organization. Every organization looks a little bit different. And so our sustainability course really goes over kind of more of an overview, and the SFP really digs in, but both are designed to help you personally learn strategy to be able to implement some initiatives at your company. So we're going to go into some more detail on both of these options. So Gail, let's get it kicked off with option one.
Perfect. So when you're filling a gap, maybe you don't think that your voice is heard loud enough at your organization, and maybe you don't have time to earn a credential. The Sustainability Standalone course is a great way to get your feet wet. You're going to learn about concepts of managing water, energy, materials and consumables, several things that are going to help you get the ball rolling and thinking sustainability. Just a quick overview of the course. There is enough information that we're looking at potentially up to 5 hours of study time. There's 6 chapters. After each chapter, there's going to be a quiz. At the conclusion of the course material, there is one final assessment. Once that final assessment has been taken and passed, you are going to earn a digital badge and just showcase that, yes, you do have some knowledge and some training under your belt for sustainable practices. Some study resources available are going to be a digital flip book, a student PDF that's downloadable, and then, of course, chapter quizzes as well. If you decide that you start here and you're ready to move over to the credential itself, we do offer a dollar for dollar match. So, whatever was paid towards this standalone course will be applied to your credential. So, Starlin, do you want to give us a little bit more information about the actual credential itself?
Of course. Thanks so much, Gail. So, our second option, be the change, is the Sustainability Facility Professional Credential. This is a lifelong credential that you can obtain. As you can see, it does require quite a bit more study hours on average. We are between 46 to 67. So, this is very different from the sustainability course. This is broken into 12 chapters. There is going to be a final assessment at the end of each chapter. There is not going to be a giant final assessment at the end. It's just the final assessment after each chapter. Once you complete all chapters and all final assessments, then you apply for your sustainability facility credential. So just to kind of go into a little bit more detail about the credential itself, this is going to give you more of a strategic view on the different things that were covered in the sustainability course. But the sustainability course is really designed to help you kind of understand the concepts. This is really going to dig deep so you can gain expertise in these areas and help meet the increasing demands for energy efficiency, waste reduction, carbon footprint reduction, and resource conservation. It's going to cover everything from building a program to implementing the strategy at your company. So this is a lot more of a deeper dive and is really a very valuable credential to have at your company. So let's go into a little bit more of the content so we can take a look and see what you're going to be covering.
Because we do want to mention that this is not just environmental issues. This is going to help you do better business as an organization. So, again, as Starlin mentioned, you'll see a quick breakdown of the different units, the different chapters that are covered when you are going through the course material for the SFP.
Beautiful, Gail. Let's talk a little bit more about who needs the credential and what's the point of doing this, right? So, as many of you know, a lot of different government agencies, the U.S. as well as the UN, have initiatives that they have released. I'm sure you've heard of SDGs and the circular economy. This credential specifically is to help you and your company really implement strategy to be able to meet these initiatives and different things that you're required to report on these days. And not just meeting other people's demands, but also boosting the resiliency and the long-term viability of your facility. You're taking care of your needs today, but also preparing for the needs of the next generation. And so in order to take this credential, we kind of mentioned it earlier in the webinar, but you do need to have a strong foundation in FM, but every FM should take the sustainability facility professional credential at some point. It's going to come into play at some point in your career to really be able to implement these strategies and have a successful company.
Perfect. So let's talk about building a framework where the strategy meets that implementation. So, of course, you're going to have to, again, assess where you're starting, develop that baseline, get that strategy going. Then you're going to identify initiatives. What is going to make the most sense? Get that started, get that written down, and now start communicating that plan. The more people that need to be involved who are going to be able to be, the people making sure that everything's going and running smoothly, communication, communication, communication. And then now you're going to, once that communication and those plans are set in place, you're going to report. What doesn't get accounted for, what's not measured, doesn't get changed. So reporting is also going to be one of those high level things that you need to make sure that you're doing so that you can ensure that what you've put in place is still functioning, is still working. And if there's any tweaks that need to be made, again, you just kind of do this cycle on wash and repeat, right? Making sure that everything is flowing and flowing correctly. I know there's talk about other credentials out there, as Starlin alluded to earlier. We wanted to kind of debunk a couple of things, but just really highlight how the SFP helps and helps you get along or align with your company and those sustainable practices.
Yes, and you may have heard of them or have some of these buildings within the facilities that you manage. But the two certifications for the buildings are LEED certifications and WELL certifications. So LEED is going to be focusing more on the environmental sustainability of the building itself. And then also WELL certifications, it's focusing still, it's a building certification, but it focuses on the health and well-being of the building occupants. And these are both wonderful certifications and definitely things that you want to be able to achieve with your buildings. The SFP is a little bit different. This is really something that this is for the FM to be able to implement and maintain these buildings. So we understand that yes, these are definitely certifications that are important, and I do believe that there are even certifications that they offer to people to learn how to make your building a well building, but it's a little bit different than implementing a full on strategy for an existing company. So, Gail, did you want to go into anything else, or did that pretty much kind of cover?
I think that's a pretty good cover overall, right? Because this is again where maybe the lead person is the SFP and the people on the team take that sustainable course, just so they have an idea of how to reach those goals, because yeah, the FM is the person ultimately responsible for the intersection of the people and the building. So if it's too hot, if it's too cold, like that's well-being of an occupant. So the FM is really the person I think who shoulders a lot of the responsibility for the buildings and for the organizations.
Right. And I mean, we can talk all day about the SFP. I mean, we see it from a day-to-day basis and how it impacts people, but we wanted to share with you guys a testimonial from one of our facility managers that has actually obtained their SFP. Miles' friend, he's obtained both his FMP and SFP. And he just communicates that he really wishes that he had signed up for it sooner because it directly related to challenges that he was facing and helped answer a lot of questions. And also helped define the path and methodology to sustainability initiatives that he was already working on. We understand that you guys probably already have initiatives in front of you. This is really meant to help guide you along the way and help you with your strategy and how you're going to be implementing and measuring the different sustainable initiatives that are being implemented.
And because we are an association with members, excuse me, we do offer memberships, and some of those resources that we offer are going to be a knowledge library where you can access different white pages, different resources, webinars, um, podcasts, whatever you can that helps an FM do their job, or maybe they're the people who have submitted the information for you to be able to use. We have that Engage forum, again, where it's an opportunity for FMs to network globally. We also have a sustainability community, and then our research webinars. I'm sorry, we have webinars and research available also to our members.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Gail, for going into that. And if you have any questions about that, please shoot us an email at corporateconnections@ifma.org. We can get you connected with our membership team. We want to go through a few questions now that we received. We polled before we did this webinar to see what questions people might have. And so this is going to be our first one. I'm a CFM. Should I get more sustainability training? What do you think, Gail?
Absolutely. Why would you not? Again, tying it back to the scorecard, the balanced scorecard, tying it back to any KPIs. Even if you're 2 years of being an FM or 22 years of being an FM, it doesn't matter what is under your belt. Sustainability should be at the top of your list of things to either learn more about or start implementing. Just because you have become a CFM, that shows that you've mastered the FM industry and your role in your organization. Why would you not want to put sustainability under your belt as well?
And true. And Gail, like as you mentioned, the sustainability is very much important these days. And we do have a sustainability component. If you've gone through any of the training that we offer to help prepare for the CFM exam, that sustainability course that we talked about is on there, but it does not go into the depth that would be needed to be um, really the expert in that field. And as a CFM, you do have activities that you need to keep up to renew your CFM every 3 years, and this would count towards that as well. So definitely should get more into the sustainability training.
Another question that we took from the audience was, how do I overcome the implementation obstacle of the field team not complying with required sustainable measures?
And that is a great question. I actually had a conversation with someone recently at an external trade show that I visited, and they said that the thing that they were seeing was people would get, the initiatives from the C-suite, and then it would just kind of be like, well, okay, well, what do we do from here? And that's where the SFP really helps people implement the strategy, communicate out to the field team, and let them know what box they need to check to start doing things in a sustainable manner. And then also, I think it's really helpful if you have a field team that if you're getting a lot of kickback or people don't really understand what the point is, the sustainability course. It's a great resource for you to put your team through training that's not going to take up a lot of time, but will give them an overview and kind of give them the why behind what they're doing. A lot of times that can definitely help produce kind of the understanding that people need to be like, oh, okay, well, this makes sense. Absolutely, we'll go ahead and start working on getting this in. But it really pulls the team onto the same page. So that's just an idea, definitely that you could maybe use for your FM team if you're getting, some sort of a roadblock there. All right. And last question that we have from the audience before we move on. How can we make sure that the current facilities adhere to the principles of sustainability?
I think going back to that framework, right? Assessing your situations, setting a clear, sustainable goal or goals, implementation, leading by example. If you're the person in charge, making sure that you're the one, if you switch from paper cups for your coffee in the morning or at the water cooler, and now you have glass cups, that's one more step, right? Or not having paper goods, period, in your office, plates, silverware, just being that person who leads by example, and that's a way to promote those sustainable behaviors. And then again, monitoring your performance. That way, if there's anything that needs to be adjusted, or maybe you just have to start all the way over, I don't know your organization. But if that's the situation, making sure that you are reporting everything and just keeping track of all the things that you're doing so that you are moving forward and reaching those goals.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Gil. And if you have any specific questions, please pop those into the comments wherever you are watching from. We'll be happy to take a look at some questions here in just a minute. But if you're wondering kind of how do I get started or where do I start, we do have a career compass, which is a very quick quiz, takes about 2 minutes of time, and it will help point you in the right direction. If you're not sure whether you're ready to jump into sustainability or not, or you're kind of just shaky on that foundation, like I'm not sure, it's okay if you need to, if you'd like, we have the FMP as well, which provides a solid foundation in facility management, and you can definitely head that direction before jumping into the SFP if you're unsure. But this is a really great resource to help determine where your starting point should be.
And because we want to thank you for joining us today, we are going to offer two codes that you can use to apply towards your training. So if you're looking at any of those core competency courses, such as the sustainability course, or maybe you're looking at the essentials, you can use the code Your Learning 50 to apply a $50 coupon towards that purchase. If you are leaning more towards that SFP program to earn your credential, or maybe you're going to start with the FMP or do that core competency course bundle, you can use the discount code Your Learning 100 to take $100 off. These codes will be valid through the end of April. We do offer GSA pricing to our federal employees. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to send us an email at corporateconnections@ifma.org. We are so happy to either help you figure out where you are in your learning journey, see what you have time for, what you have an appetite for, or just to talk if, make sure that you've already started and we're here to help cheerlead. Anything that we
Abs-
can do to help you.
Absolutely. That is what we're here for. We have an entire team dedicated to helping you on your professional development journey. And the other piece that I just wanted to say a quick reminder is Gail mentioned the dollar for dollar. It's not necessarily a discount, but credit towards the SFP credential. If you have already taken that sustainability course, please reach out to the team at corporate connections at ifma.org, and we'll be happy to work with you to get that applied.
I didn't see any questions from the audience. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to send them to us, and we will definitely take a look at those and get some answers to you. Are we ready to close it up, or do we want to wait a few minutes?
I think we're good. I'll take this opportunity, though, to talk about our upcoming events. So if you missed it, we did Hacking the FMP as our last webinar. You can scroll up on whatever platform that you're on. These are recorded, so you're definitely welcome to go watch that. We just touched on sustainability today, and then next it's going to be all about the CFM. So we are going through all the credentials, and this is going to be our certification that we offer here at IFMA. Please join us on May 16th. Mark your calendars. Definitely register for the event if you would like reminders and a notification for when it begins. And if there aren't any other questions, let me take one more last look. Um, the full fee for the SFP program, I see that. So we do offer different pricing. We have different discounts for membership as well as groups. So please reach out to us at corporateconnections.org and we can get you a personalized quote for the SFP program. You can also find it on our website at ifma.org and, fm.training, and you can browse our catalog there. And you can see the different offerings that we have as far as the pricing goes. And as you saw on the last slide, there's also GSA pricing available. So if you are eligible for GSA pricing, please reach out to us and we'll be happy to get you a quote for that as well. All right, Gail, I think that ties it up for today. Thank you, everyone, so very much for joining us. We are so excited that you were able to participate in the sustainability chat and look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you.